So this is one of them question tag things. And I was tagged by the fantastic Cherie, the top note. We all know Cherie. She tags me in to do anything, I'm going to do it, aren't I, really? She's kind of really awesome. One of my kind of heroes from all of this, and someone I've been watching for a long time. She's just great. She's very authentic and honest and open and all of that, and she's just generally great, isn't she? And she was tagged by the equally fantastic Pep, the Sentinel, and it's where he does a tag thing, so yeah, I feel honoured to be kind of a part of that chain, really, there. But yes, it's just a question thing, nothing controversial in this one, I don't believe, so it'll be quite a simple, easy one to do. So yeah, we'll just crack it. The first question is, what's on my to buy list? What am I going to buy next? Do you know what it is? I'm in a stage where I'm not buying a right lot, or anything at all really at the moment. But there are a few on there. For example, Amouage Myths. This one it's just one I've wanted for a long time. I will get it, I have to find it at the right price. Not paying retail for it, I'm not mental. It's discontinued, so it's looking about, isn't it? I've seen a few bottles here and there, and eventually I will get it, of course. Myths is chrysanthemum, and then it kind of, to me, it's not a listed note at all. But because it's kind of got these spicy floral things, it starts to smell like decaying lilies and tuberoses, kind of in a vase. The lilies, it then becomes like, you know, like a vase of water with these decaying flowers. There's a lot going on in it. There's lots of kind of floral aspects. There's a little bit of something naughty and cheeky in there. There's also kind of that resinousness that we expect in an Amouage fragrance, but it's kind of this goth Mrs. Havisham kind of fragrance to me, with the flowers slowly kind of decaying away in the vase. Like I said, it's that wateriness, that kind of green, not putrid, but you know what I mean. I think flowers going off smell quite nice actually. So yeah, that's Miss Woman. Also is Hot Orapito from One Way Bridge, and this one is the new one. Of course I want it. I've of course had a sample briefly, because I don't know it too well yet. It's like a kind of cooking apple that transfers into like an unspiced sort of apple pie. And I'm not an apple lover, but there's a raspberry seed that gives it this kind of lipsticky thing going on in there, and then there's all sorts of notes going around in there. I think I got a bit of something anisey and what have you. It's just really nice, and it's really unique, as you'd expect from One Way Bridge. It's brilliant, and I'm not gonna lie, I think I've bought it 3 times now. It has grown and grown and grown. Like I say, the apple is really good in it. And then finally is probably Chanel's number 5, the EDT. It's not much different from the EDP, but it's got this kind of much more bright freshness. You know, like, to be fair, the flankers are always kind of good, aren't they? But this one just has a more kind of effervescent, fresh sparkliness about it. Whereas obviously I do love the original. This one's kind of a summer one. It's a little bit sweeter. I say it's a little bit more vibrant and alive. I think there's citrus in it. It has a bit more kind of noticeable in it, and the muskiness is absolutely sensational. The ylang is obviously there, the lily of the valley, but it's all just a bit brighter and a bit more kind of alive. So that's the 3 on my next to buy list. So the next one is a weird question. If you had to pick just one designer and one niche brand to wear forever, what would it be? Ooh. Now, look, I'm just going to say it. I think, oh, it's between Dior and Chanel, isn't it? And I hate to be kind of lazy with that, but it's the truth of what I've got quite a lot of. Probably Dior, because, oh, no, I'm going to change my mind. Dior have gone really meh, haven't they, really? And they're changing the stuff into mehness. I've changed my mind live here. Would be Chanel. I was thinking of, you know, an obscure one like Lolita Lempicka and stuff. But the reason I've gone for Chanel is because Chanel have kept the fragrances real. I have a lot, well, not a lot, more than half a dozen Chanels. And I do like the older ones, probably the best. But Chanel haven't cashmere and or ambroxaned their fragrances to death, which is always an impressive thing. Now the men's collection, male marketed collection from Chanel, are what we'd call garbage. They're not worth mentioning. They could be, you know, part of another house that just makes generic nonsense. Bleu de Chanel, what? Allure Homme Sports. You know, their big ones are just not very good, and they don't pay much attention to them really, do they? So fair dues. But the female marketed ones, they're good. I like my Coco. The Coco Mademoiselles, Chanel number 5s. What's the other one? Number 22 I tried recently, which I really kind of surprisingly liked. And then there's the exclusives, there's Missia and all. It will be Chanel because there's enough variety there and enough good ones. And I know when we're saying this for the rest of our lives, that hopefully Chanel are not going to go down this modern garbage route. So that's why it's Chanel. Niche is tricky, very tricky. I'm not going to put Indian here, I'm going to stick to pure niche. And again, these are for the rest of your life kind of ones. I'm going to go for Amouage, and the reason I've gone for Amouage is because of their back catalogue. Going forward, Amouage are going to be absolutely terrible. There's no doubt. They've already gone down the generic path. One of the new ones that's coming out, I'm interested in because it's Lily of the Valley. I love Lily of the Valley, but I suspect it's going to be generic, and smelt it before. But their back catalogue, the Chong period and pre-Chong, are just sensational. They are incredible. So many masterpieces, and I could happily wear them for the rest of my life. So that's why I'm gonna still go for Amouage, because, well, let's face it, they're the last of the brands, the big niche houses, to go so mainstream and pointless and cheap, and you know, L'Oreal own them now. We all know what happened to Mugler, don't we? Which is why, again, that's not in the designer one. So yeah, as best and worst blind buys, it's a tricky question because I haven't really blind bought a lot. The worst blind buy I've made, they're both going to be from the same brand. Why not? Let's just keep it. Keep talking about Amouage forevermore. Is Amouage Beloved Man. Now, it's only a partial. It's not really my cup of tea. It's kind of a fresh, sharp, citrusy one to me. It's not bad in any way, and it was very cheap, so I can't really complain about it too much. But I'm just saying, sometimes they don't always hit the spot, do they? I'm glad I bought it. Glad I sniffed it because it's long discontinued, so it's an experience. Maybe it will grow on me as it gets warmer, but that's my worst. And obviously my best blind buy was one someone had recommended to me, and I read up about it. I'd watched the one video there was about mentioning it or whatever, and I thought, do you know what, I'm going to go for this, and that's Amouage Fate. Now again, this was pure luck. I was looking for a bottle because of what people had said, and it comes up. This is a discontinued one. Ridiculous prices. But it's the Narcissus, you see. I'm a Narcissus addict, and I was like, oh, I'm never going to get this. Then one day there was a bottle, I think it's about 120, 130 quid. It's a 50ml. It had been used. Not much taken off, to be fair. And I thought, do you know what, I want this. I thought, I'm going to be really cheeky. I put in a bid of about 80 quid, which I did, and they accepted it. I was like, you know, and it's a non-magnetic cap. I don't know if this ever got reformulated anyway, but it's just sensational. Like I say, it's Narcissus. It's this kind of classic nod to an 80s vintage floral type thing, resins. It's magnificent, and potentially the greatest buy I've ever made, blind buy anyway. And I've had some good blind buy successes, I'm not going to lie, but that one just particularly stands out because I don't know, I've got amouage in the brain, haven't I? So kind of similar question, the purchase I most regret. Now in the old days, you know, when we first get into this, we buy loads of trash, don't we? We genuinely do. And I'm not going to mention some brands I'd like to here. We'll leave it there. We'll go for a more mainstream one. And now we all know I'm a super fan of Dupont, and there are many flankers to that. But possibly the worst purchase I ever made, oh, it wasn't expensive again, was Dupont Red King. What is this fragrance? Why does it exist? The Black King's quite nice actually, you know. It's pleasant. It's not groundbreaking or anything, but Red King is basically red plastic. That's what it smells of. And I can't say much more about it. Yeah, red plastic. Maybe a touch of vinyl in there. It's not a chemical bomb, you know, hats off there, but it's just so nondescript and plastic that just doesn't do it for me. So yeah, that's Dupont Red King. Oh, what's my most complimented? Now this is linking to the last one. My most complimented of all time is Dupont. It was a legend, but again, when I got most of these compliments, I was a youth. I was a good looking, well, a better looking fella, slimmer, you know, full of more life and more optimism than I've got now, though I'd never describe myself as an optimist. So maybe that had something to do with it. More recently, it is actually really weird. It's Killian's Kissing, and this is one I've had family members, yeah, which never comment on stuff, but also a random person. And recently, you know, now I'm battered and old and fat and you know, what have you, it's unlikely to get that. Now, Killian's Kissing is Lily of the Valley in a kind of creamy toffee with a lovely muskiness and that. There's a little pinch of rose which puts the sweetness in there. It's actually not bad at all. It's nothing majorly, you know, unique or groundbreaking, but it's very nice and it's very cosy. And the way the lily works with a slight gourmandy thing, so it's kind of fresh, a little bit green, but also with the kind of, it's a soft toffee. It's not caramel vomit you get nowadays. It's a good one, and that's all I can really say about it. It's obviously got Killian muskiness in there, which is always, you know, very good. So yeah, Killian Kissing for probably my most recent, most complimented one. We're not going to count the legend that's Dupont. I mean, you know, anyone could wear that and they get compliments. My most expensive and most inexpensive. Most inexpensive. Well, weirdly, I bought one for free. Joe Malone had an offer on it and I got that for free, but we're not going to count that. I think ones that I've actually purchased actually is Eau de Minimes, I think it's called, from somewhere, from the Monks. I'll flash you up on the screen. I think it was like £11 for like a 200. It was even bigger than 200. I think it's a 200ml bottle of just vanilla. And it's this resinous, gorgeous, rich vanilla. It is a little bit cakey. It's fantastic. And when you consider how much similar perfumes go for, that are just vanilla basically with a nice resinousness about them, this is just perfect. Something I spray my bed sheets with in the winter. Gives that kind of cozy loveliness. It's also wearable and layerable. But it just smells magnificent, and like I say again, it's just vanilla, and it's really, really good. And for £11 for that much perfume, I think I was on to a winner there. So that's Eau de Minimes from Covert something. I will put it up, and that was £11. Now my most expensive buy. only just. I don't break the 200 mark, that's kind of my rule, but I have 3 times. Twice were blind buys. This was not a blind buy, but it's Amouage's Silver Oud. It's just a masterpiece. It's Opus 13, but it's a Sam Oud with smoke and a little naughty touch of castoreum, which doesn't last long enough for me. And then this kind of silvery birchy smokiness around it. It's just pure class. And do you know what? I'll never regret that. I think it's worth every single penny. There are fragrances, of course they rip us off. Probably cost about £5 to make, but the rest of the perfumes probably cost £1 or £2 to make. So, you know, I'm not as bitter about spending that much on it, and I wanted it. I really wanted it. And I think the 220, whatever it was actually a bargain, a real bargain. You don't often see this one reduced. And that's it, that's the end. I just bloody love the stuff. It's magical. So that's the most expensive is Amouage Opus 13 Silver Oud. What is the most represented in my collection? Now I have a few in double figures. April Aromatics, I think One Way Bridge are possibly in double figures. Amouage, Dior's are pushing that way now as well. Dupes, these are all pushing the double figures, but by far and away I think there's 18 full bottles. We're talking full bottles here, is Kilian. And yeah, that's not a surprise really, is it? And Kilian have gone the way of Amouage really for me. They were magnificent, creative, wonderful, beautiful, easy niche, but beautiful. And there's some really brilliant ones in there, like obviously we all know I love my Rolling in Love. The Straight to Heaven Extreme I think is fantastic, playing with the devil. I'm not going to list them all. I've got a couple of the Russian ones, you know, Back to Black, Love and Tears. Again, I'm not going to go through them all, but the magnificent fragrances, creative, beautiful, very well done, not shouty. Now they've, since, you know, Estee Lauder got their little paws into them, they ain't good. They just ain't good. They're releasing generic after generic, flanker after flanker, cashing in on the success of certain, how shall we say, very famous ones and stuff, and it's just like, nah, not interested in them anymore. I tried the last few. Nah. I mean, that Shield of Protection cologne, not my cup of tea, but it was actually, do you know what, it was alright. I'm not going to diss that one. Even though it's absolutely not for me, at least it was kind of good. So yeah, my most represented is Kilian. Now my favourite discontinued fragrance could again go Amouage, couldn't we all? Kilian had some fantastic ones discontinued, but we're not going to go that way. We're going to go for a One Way Bridge one, and the reason why this is so special is my first from them, and that's Polly. It was discontinued. Now this is green, this is New Zealand, this is the smell, you know, when you're watching all the folks in Lords of the Rings, you know, going through that gorgeous New Zealand countryside. That's what it is. And of course I'm from the countryside as well. There's unusual New Zealand notes in there. Green. I couldn't tell you what's listed. It smells as things like moss, galbanum and things like that. But the New Zealand type stuff, so there's no point me telling you that. It's just a very green, very fresh, very vivid, realistic thing. And again, with it being my first One Way Bridge, which is a house I've, you know, madly in love with, and also the fact it reminds me nostalgic of home, not around here from the Peak District, but yeah. So that's One Way Bridges Polly. Next is what type of fragrance content do I watch? That's really a weird question, isn't it? Anything. We obviously watch our favourites, don't we? I tend not to watch influencer stuff. Again, similar answer to Cherie. I've no issue with gifted bottles or PR or anything like that, really don't. It's part of the game nowadays, isn't it? So why would I have a problem with that? Plus I've had the little bits of PR here and there, so I'd be a hypocrite, wouldn't I? But it is the nonsense. It is the gibberish. It's the people who don't actually declare that they've done, you know, that these are PR. I think you mentioned it once briefly, secretly in code, and that's enough. It ain't. That ain't the law, sunshine. Also, I don't like watching nonsense videos. Top 10 sexiest, what my man loves on me, panty droppers. Just absolute dribble, the gutter of fragrance stuff. Yeah, I'm saying it, because it is the gutter. What are you talking about? Get a life. Dribble. 1 second. Yeah, I was trying to put the light on there, but it won't let me. Obviously, the light has failed me. But yeah, that's basically the gist. I don't like guff. Pointless, endless lists about nothing. Sometimes lists are good. I like a theme because all my videos have a theme. I like people who can tell a story, tell us the feelings about them, and all that sort of stuff. So again, I've got no issue with anyone or any content, but it's got to have something behind it, not just a list of advertisements. And again, like Cherie mentioned, the top 10 lists where they've got a fragrance they've never even wore that they got for free that they don't mention, and that's all that's in that list. I do have a bit of beef with that, but yeah, whatever, each to their own. This kind of one was sneaked in at the end, and this is going to shock everyone. What's your most worn fragrance? Now, ever with Dupont, obviously I've gone through about 3 or 4 bottles of that in my lifetime, but recently it's Chanel Allure Homme. I know I bang on about how terrible it is, the reformulation. It really is. It's a complete nothing fragrance now. It's just garbage. It's all the fun and the niceness and the class has been taken out of it. It used to be really peachy and resinous. Now it's just kind of this citrus, resinous kind of one you've smelled a million times, which, you know, it's all right. But the reason why I wear it so much is because I'm determined to empty a bottle. And it's just a really easy reach. If you don't want to really smell of anything or stand out or be interesting and just kind of, then it's perfect for that. So sadly, my most worn is one I don't really like, and that's Chanel Allure Homme. And I'm going to put in an extra question because it's me, it's my rules, I play by my rules. And as these seem to be excluded from the questions, even though I've tried to slip a few in. What's my favourite indie brand? The future of fragrance. There's two. There's two that really stand out. There's a lot more, but we're just going to go to 2. One Way Bridge, which I've mentioned several times, by a great New Zealand perfumer. A brilliant woman, mega creative, just unbelievable at creating a person, a situation, a kind of bringing it to life. These fragrances, you may have smelled things like this 15, 20, 30 years ago, where designer perfumery was interesting, but they wouldn't have had the artistic touch of bringing them to life like Elise can do. So One Way Bridge, all the way. I'm always excited for what she does, but the back catalogue is masterpiece after masterpiece. Lovely fragrances, which I do actually wear quite a lot. And they make me happy. I was going to say they tickle my bean, but that just sounds really... we'll cut that maybe. And April Aromatics. Now this is from Tanja Bosching, who's a German perfumer. And these ones are all natural ones. And again, this is from a bygone age now, isn't it? Using natural ingredients. Oh my. I mean, no ambroxan. What is going on? No cashmerean. These take you to a place, a time and a place. They're always where Tanya's been, and she's kind of been influenced. So you go into the beach with her, you're in a forest with her, you buy these little lily pads with her, and lotus pads and things like that. You're literally smelling that situation, that place, and they're so beautiful. And there's some that are really, I don't want to say less artistic, because that's not true or fair, but more kind of would slip into the mainstream, like Wild Summer Crush, which is this sumptuous grapefruit with a kind of resinous warmth. It's fantastic. So that's my final question. Yeah. Now, of course, I lost the light in this video. That's just the way it is. Can I brighten it up? Probably not. You just have to deal with it the way it is. It's not like you can ever see much anyway, is it? With just me walking through places. The questions were alright. It's a fairly easy one. What about you? What's your answer to any of these questions? What's the kind of fragrance house you've got the most from? What's your most expensive, least expensive one? What sort of fragrance content do you like watching? Yes, enough of them questions. And because it's a tag video, I'll tag one other person, Dr. Claire Smith, because Claire likes a little tag, and why not? Alright folks, thanks for watching and bye. Also, thanks Cherie for the tag. I appreciate it. Kind of excited, you know, that one of your kind of content heroes tags you in something. It's like, woo! Especially when you're kind of me. But yeah, that's it. Enough of waffle now. And bye again.